Being a lonely man that can't get a girl and is isolated and devastated by life, and you're trapped in poverty, you're trapped with all this negativity, you're trapped in this cycle of perpetual disturbance. Your peace is disturbed, your mind is perturbed, your soul is annoyed, and you're trapped in this vicious void. Not having a woman in your life can do so many things that are detrimental to your confidence. Not be able to hug a girl after you come home from work, not being able to smell her perfume, you know. She walks by, you smell her perfume, her hair, is all did up nice. She comes out the shower smelling fresh and good, put on her booty shorts. You like, damn, you take a look at that, you smile, you guys go out to eat and you feel like a human being. You may make love or, you just hit it from the back, make that daddy smack, and that's good for a young man. It's good for us. It's good for the viability and vitality of a man's spirit to have a woman in his life, bro. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody thinks that, oh yeah, I'm just going to max this and max. Like there's people that I've known, bro, that tried to go that route. Oh man, I'm just going to say, forget girls. I'm just going to hit the gym. All right, they go to the gym and then they get super buff, but then they're like 5'6" or 5'5", or barely 5'7". And now at this point, to most women, they look at you like some type of cartoon character. They look at you like you're some type of joke. They look at you like, okay, you're buff, but you're short, right? Meanwhile, you see these girls with some tall, lanky, regular looking, guy or whatever. Like, but his face may be like a Chad Lighter or something like that, but he's not as buff, he's not as muscular, and he still gets the girl. So it's really not about muscles. Having muscles are good, whatever, it's good to be able to like fight other men or whatever, and maybe attract some females that look at you and see your fit. But for the majority, man, that is not going to change because it's all really about your face, because your face represents your genetics. Even though in like the animal kingdom, being the buffest and being the strongest would matter, we're not in that type of kingdom. Even though we are in a way, we're in the human kingdom. We're like, we have animalistic behaviors based on, urination, defecation. We get sick, we throw up, we need food, we need to be in some type of group, so that's how we, you know, have similarities to like other types of species on this planet, such as lions and such as other type of things that are social creatures. But for a man to go years without having a woman in his life is not natural. It's not good. And it's not something that should be, it's not something that should just be brushed aside. I know a lot of us we're kind of forced to just brush aside our emotions and how we feel and how we think. Life is hard, fellas. Life is difficult. Life is not easy. And it's not easy because we don't have no money. Because the system's designed by certain people with shekels that are hell bent on establishing a worldwide government that's going to be compliant, or that's going to make us all compliant to their evil. And people already are. We already seen what happened in 2020. I can't believe that's been 6 years now. That's crazy. I remember 2020 like it was yesterday, right? I wasn't making no videos or anything like this, like I was making videos, but they weren't getting no attention. Nobody cared. Nobody watched them. No one even cared who I was. They didn't care, you know. I guess now I got a little clout, which is interesting. But I'm just a regular guy, man, that's been going through it. This pain, man. See, one thing about the pain like this is that it never really truly goes away. You can distract your mind with video games. You can distract your mind with any type of illicit substances. But deep down inside, man, you're always thinking about that girl, the girls you can't have, and being alone and being sad and being miserable. You can never escape it, right? Have you guys ever seen a girl that's so beautiful, like on the internet or in real life, that it hurts? You know, like she's so perfect on the surface, but it's what's in her heart that makes me nervous, right? So she looks beautiful, but you find out her heart, her soul is evil. But you don't know that. You just look at her beauty and like she's so beautiful, you wish you can have her. And then sometimes it gets to a point where you start to look at yourself and you start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt your dreams, your ambitions, your inspirations, your aspirations. You start to just doubt yourself. You start to think low of yourself. You start to think that you don't really matter anymore. And once that happens, you start to just break. One of the first things that breaks you, man, is your confidence and belief in yourself. And once that goes, well, the ship can't sail now, can it? And that confidence and belief is broken down by years, not just one event, even though one events have significant ramifications, because certain events, depending on the severity of the event, it can either destroy your whole life or create your whole life. But a lot of us, we've had many big events in our lives that were negative, and also we had many events that were negative as well. So we got to deal with all types of circumstances, plus the things we're going through now. Plus, when you get older, people are looking at you like, why are you this age? You don't have a car, you don't have a job, you don't have a career, you don't have a woman. What are you doing all day? Right? Even when you go to a job interview, they're going to be asking you all these silly questions about, oh, how come you, like, what were you doing, this past year or this past whatever? How are you making money? How are you in life? You try to tell them, I was making some type of, online career. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't understand it until you're rich like Mr. Beast. Then everybody understands and sees your vision. That's the one thing I can't stand about people, is that whenever you tell people your vision and your goals, they never see it. They never believe it until it's actually actualized, until they see you in the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, the Bentley, till they see you in the mansion with the beautiful girl in the nice, sexy summer dress, smoking on a joint, inside of an exotic car, right? Like, they never believe you until they can see it. As they say, that seeing is believing, right? But sometimes there's things we can't see that orchestrate our entire lives, such as our genetics. You can't really see the genetics with the normal eye. You got to look under a microscope or something like that. But what is usually invisible is something that controls us. You can't control how you look like, right? You can't control whether the environment you're born in and raised in is a good environment or not. You're just thrown into, it's like, you ever join a Call of Duty lobby? You just join a lobby and like the people already lose, and it's like it's like the enemy team, like the top fives. One guy, he's like 20. He's like 25-0. The number twos, he's like 23-0. the number three, he's like 15-0, and it's like the score is like 71 to like 23, and the team's getting wiped out. You see the guy on your team because you just joined the game. He's like 1-21, and it's like, wow, why would you put me in a lobby that's already losing? Why would you put me in a lobby that's getting their arse kicked? I don't want to be in that lobby. That's how real life is, bro. You're thrown into this system, and it's like you don't want to be a part of this system. You want to be left alone. But the system doesn't leave you alone. The system wants you to fail. Think about it, man. Think about, there's so many different variations of creation. There's so, like, how come we all can't just look handsome? Like, how come we all can't just look perfect? How come men just can't, like, a bunch of men just can't look like perfect for females, and females just look perfect? Like, how come we can't just be perfect? Like, why is there so many types of variations that are not visually appeasing to the eye? And these variations usually belong to people like us. It's sickening being a lonely guy, bro. Like your only goal in life is to wake up, go to work, and pay bills. Like, that's life. Wake up, go to work, pay bills. And then one day you're not going to be able to breathe. You're going to panic because you can't breathe. Your heart's going to stop. You're going to feel like your body's shutting down, because it is. And you're going to know in that moment that it's time for the eternal sleep, the eternal rest. And then you're going to look back at your life and think, okay, what have I done with my life? I woke up and I paid bills, but it's like, it's not your fault, because this is just like YouTube. YouTube determines a lot of things. Like the algorithm determines who wins and who loses. This is like, YouTube's like a lottery, and that's how real life is, bro. Because you can go, like, you can do the exact same thing as somebody else. You can do the exact same thing, make the same beat, do the same rap. You can do whatever. You can whatever it is, bro. Whatever you want to do. I'm just using that as an example. Whatever you're into, you can do the exact same thing as somebody else. And have two different examples, right? Like, somebody can make a video that breaks all of YouTube's guidelines and regulations, and YouTube will just ignore them. People will try to report the video, do this, and then YouTube won't do anything about it. Meanwhile, you have a video that's just a regular video, and then your video gets flagged and gets attacked or attracts the wrong crowd of people. Like, what are the odds of attracting people like that, right? You know how many videos and many channels I've seen where people make, like, they blatantly make very obscene content. They don't even try to color code their words, or they don't even try to, sanitize their message a bit, because YouTube demands it. And YouTube doesn't do nothing to those people. And I look at these people, I'm like, how come they don't attract, flies, right? What is it about me, I wonder? There must be. I remember my mom told me this years ago. She said there's something about me, right? I remember people would tell me this too. They tell me there's something about you. You're not just normal. Like, you should be famous. There's something definitely holding you back. There's definitely some spirit, some entity. There's something that sees your potential and it fears it. That's why it does everything to stop you. You're homeless now. You don't have nowhere to go. You don't have any backup. Nobody's on your side. Everybody's against you. You have a mini military of people that have assembled to unite against you. You don't even know who these people even are. And you haven't done nothing to these people. You didn't spit in their food. You didn't harm their parents. You didn't do nothing. The only thing you ever did was just talk on the internet about your life. So that's why it's going to take us to get into a certain position where legal ramifications have to be integrated and in place and established, and preliminary parameters need to be upheld, right? It's the same thing in a way where when you're a guy in this position, people like to just talk to you crazy. They think they can just come in your face, talk to you any type of way, disrespect you, treat you like you're nothing, and you can't do anything back. If you fight, you lose. They can yell at you in your face. They can make your life a living hell. They can make just going, trying to get some food into a whole big ordeal because they don't like you, because they got an issue with you. And you didn't do nothing to these people. You're just trying to get some food and mind your business. Yet these people have it out for you. I'm like, all I ever did on the internet, bro, I didn't do nothing wrong to nobody, man. All I've ever done was go through a hell life and decided to start making little videos online because I saw other people making videos and they were getting attention, they were getting traction. And I was like, damn, well, fuck it. I have a fucked up life. Why not me just talk about it? And I got a little buzz, but I never knew that I'll get this famous. I never knew I have thousands and thousands of people watching me. This channel, to be honest, this is my new channel that I built within the last 8 months. I had many different, my last channel was the biggest one I've ever had, almost 4,000 subscribers plus, right? And I never thought that I would be known. I never thought that I would be anybody, because a few years ago, I was just some unknown nothing. It's interesting and it's good to see that people connect. And I like that aspect because it's like, okay, I'm not crazy. These people are going through the exact same crap I'm going through right now. They're going through the isolation, the desolation, the pain, the agony, the regret, the misery, all the memories that are infused in our minds that are negative. It's difficult to make these videos. You got to understand, I'm a schizophrenic, self-diagnosed, I believe, but, I got a lot of stress, a lot of problems, a lot of drama. And just making these videos take a lot out of me, right? It may seem simple, but when you have a lot of things on your mind and you're homeless and you got to find out how you're going to eat. Okay, how I'm going to get this food? Okay, shit. Okay, I don't got that much of my car. Okay, how I'm going to do this? How I'm going to do it? Okay, where I'm going to cook it at? Okay, where I'm going to sleep at tonight? Okay, I need, there's a lot of things that go on with this type of life. So my whole thing is like, what is it about me really? There has to be something about me. People have been telling this my whole entire life. They're like, bro, something about your voice, something about the way you speak. How come I'm not famous then? If I'm so special and so this, that, and the third, why the fuck don't I have a bigger audience? And why don't I have, and how come I'm not making 10 or 20 or 30, 40, 50 grand a month off of YouTube and off of, selling merchandise and all this other shit, What is it like? This is why I feel like there's something that's targeting me. I truly believe that there's something that's watching me and it's making sure my life is a living hell on purpose. I truly believe this, bro. Like, there's nothing in my mind to tell me otherwise, man. I truly believe in this world, bro. A lot of us were just given the crap end of the stick, you know? And do you know where that saying comes from? Right? The crap end of the stick. You know, back in the ancient days, like ancient Rome or whatever, you know, they would just use the bathroom in these public places, and they'll have like one sponge, and everybody has to pass the sponge around in order to clean themselves. Disgusting, disgusting. Like in those days, I would have grabbed some trees, some of the leaves or something and made my own each time, right? You know, because that's absolutely disgusting, right? And that's another thing, man. Like when you look at history, you always see misery, right? History is filled with misery. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right how you can have millions, billions of beautiful women, you know, wearing beautiful dresses, wearing booty shorts, they got cute faces, they're young, they're feminine, they're in their prime of life, and they don't want nothing to do with you. They don't even want to look at you. They don't even want to sit on your lap, right? And it's crazy. These women will look at you, talk about you, tease you, call you a loser, call you a failure, say you will never amount to anything, and laugh in your face. Like people don't understand that women are pretty cruel. You know, many men have um, uh, went out the shadow gates because of a woman's verbal, physical, emotional, spiritual abuse. I'm not saying men don't do that, of course, but it's a lot more common with men that are, you know, just checking out of this existence because of a woman that cheated on them, because their fiance cheated on them, because this happened, because a woman rejected them, because of this, because of that. Have you guys ever watched those videos where it's like those guys will propose to a woman, they try to propose to a girl, and the girl pretty much doesn't want nothing to do with them. Like this guy would be like I seen this one where this girl's on stage, and this guy comes up to her, gives her a box of chocolates, he gives her flowers, he gets on his knees and asks to marry, and she just shakes her head no and just kind of laughs at him and just walks off. And that guy looks so defeated. I'm like, bro, because you don't he doesn't understand his SMV. He thinks that just being a nice lovey-dovey guy is what it takes to get a female. But if he was just Chad or Tyrone, she would have her, you know, her leg spread, and he would be in that zone. You know what I mean? And once you learn that, bro, once you learn that the girl that you like, the girl that you dream about and fantasize about, she's on her knees, you know, doing something, you know, strange, you know, and she's getting, you know, she's letting somebody hit it from the back, you know, hit it from the side, hit it from the front, you know, hit it upside down and all around. Meanwhile, you're just dreaming about her in your imagination and thoughts. That's brutal. But so many men suffer from this. So many men suffer from this isolation, this desolation, this rejection. You know, like we're not asking for perfection. We're just asking for a little bit of connection. That's what we're asking for. We're not asking to be treated as gods or to be treated like Thor or Zeus. All we want is just a little bit of love and happiness. Like, why is that such a bad thing? Like, why is it so bad for certain men to want to be happy, but other guys get to get it naturally, right? Like, my life, man, has just been very, very crazy. And it's like, this is how I know there's no real God. Any real God would have been seen what I've gone through and put the right people around me so I can produce music at a high level, and so I can rap and get myself out of this situation, so I can have financial stabilization and acceleration and integration of actually having a business that can accrue more different economic ventures, you know, because once you make it in one thing, you can make it in others, you know, especially when you get famous online. Like these people, I think what David Dobrik, like, doesn't he make like millions of dollars every month? And he doesn't even make YouTube no more. You know, like I bet his ad revenue alone right now is probably more money than I've ever seen in my life. You know, I remember when he was uploading a lot. I remember when Rice Gum was around. You know, I remember when Leafy Is Here was around. Yeah, you guys remember Leafy Is Here? I remember him. You know. And these are people that made millions of dollars, and all of their content was pretty much controversial, but people loved it. That YouTube was a different beast back then. I remember the days of Filthy Frank, right? I know how many of you guys remember Filthy Frank, man? You know, Joji is what he called himself. Now he's a rapper now, or a singer now, right? I remember those days of YouTube, you know, like YouTube was a totally different thing back then. You know, I never thought about making videos because I knew why did nobody would care about me? No one would care. That's why I really didn't take YouTube serious, because Who's going to really watch my videos and care? Who's going to really relate to being a loser who can't get a date, to having his fate abandoned and broken? And then I found out there was millions or thousands of people like me. I say millions because I look at other people's channels, and we pretty much talk about the same thing. I'm talking about bigger YouTubers like 100,000 plus, but it's just that for some reason the people that mess with them, like they don't get the crazy stalker types. I mean, they do, but they don't get people like, I don't know, bro. This is how I know that this is like this. Whatever's going on with me is customized just for me, right? It's meant to try to break you. It's meant to try to destroy you. It's meant, and what have you done? You haven't done nothing. What have you done? You made some bop and thought videos telling the truth. Meanwhile, people like Taylor the Fiend make that video every single day and get paid thousands of dollars a month. They make 3 videos a day. You want to know why they make 3 videos a day? It's because the more they get paid ad revenue, right? And so they make 3 videos a day. They take clips off of Instagram or whatever, and then they put it, and then they talk about it, and then it pretty much prints money after that. But they get to do that smoothly, you know? Meanwhile, something like me that would actually help my situation out exponentially, I can't make videos like that anymore because I have people that are that are so focused on me, like they're not focused on their life. They're not focused. They're just focused on me. And so what they'll do is they'll go find the person of the video and tell them that I made a video on them or whatever, and try to get me banned and get this nice. It's crazy. It's like I want to see who this person is in real life, right? Face to face, man to man. But anyway, man, it's like what I'm saying is that certain things that there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do that other people can do, right? Like you're not going to be able to go on that date on a Friday night or a Saturday night because you don't have money. Number one, and number two, you probably don't have no gas in the car, and even if you do, you need that for work because for your Friday payment, right? And then even if you do have a little extra change, you can take a girl to a restaurant. She's gonna look at you like, this is it. You can't do better than this. And it's like, damn, you're not even appreciative of somebody that's not, out there cheating on you, being a bad guy. Somebody that's actually taking you somewhere, spending their money when Chad doesn't have to spend anything. When Chad just pulls down his pants and then he gets, exotic behavior happening to him. Meanwhile, you can be a nice, loving, caring guy, and you have people that are trying their best to turn you into, a dark master. You guys ever watch Digimon? In for the 4 dark masters? I think it was Paimon, Metal Seedramon. I can think of the other ones. Puppetmon, and what was the other one? And Machine Dramon, I think it was. You know what I mean? Those were the 4 dark masters of Digimon back in the day. This is when Pokemon and Digimon was at each other's necks at the time. Both of them were new intellectual properties. They were new IPs, but at the time, it was interesting. But what I'm saying is like, there's only so much guys like us in this position can take. And you can see why guys like ER went the way that they went, right? You can see it. You can see, okay, that's what made them snap. Going through the things that we go through in life, the disrespect, the rejection, not having a woman in your life and not being able to get a woman in your life, and then being gaslit by society, saying you're just complaining and you're this, you're that, you need to be more stronger. Why you care about a woman so much? And these people all that have normal lives, these are what's called NPCs and highlights. These are people that have normal lives. These are people that were treated, they didn't go through the situations we've been through. The situations that we've been through are customized hell. You understand? Like, we don't go through normal situations. Like the things we go through is like, how did that happen? Like, when I told people, I was talking to this one YouTuber, I'm not going to name him because he doesn't want to be named, but I was talking to him, and he has over 100,000 subscribers. I'll say that. And we were emailing, back and forth, and he was just, I was telling him my story. He was like, damn. He's like, bro, I've never went through that. He's like, bro, I've been on YouTube for about almost 9 years now, and I've never had, people, do some crazy shit like that. Like, to me, he's like, bro, I've never had that happen. Like, the most people who come on my channel and they disagree. He's like, they don't care. He's like, bro, there's something about you, because Nobody latches and attaches themselves to somebody who's a nothing. There's something, these people, these beings, you gotta understand, these beings, probably not even human. These are spiritual parasites that we go through and we have to encounter. Where everywhere you go to a new job and a new boss is looking at you weird already. You didn't even say a word to that man yet. And he already has his eyes looking at you. He's already looking at your shoes, looking at you up and down and monitoring you. And you're like, what the fuck? You know, you got coworkers already. Oh, we got a new guy here, or whatever. You know, it's like, you ever seen those prison shows or those prison documentaries, which are sanitized versions, of course, but where the guys are walking in, you got the fresh guys who just got to prison, and then you got the guys who've been in prison for a long time. They're like, yeah, yeah, hey, they're all yelling against the gates, trying to intimidate and trying to scare the new people. That's how it feels like when us neets step outside of our room and it's doom, and we have to find a job, find a school, find this. It feels just like that. You have the people that are used to it, people that are used to being prisoners. Oh, you're a neat. They're trying to pick on you. They're trying to intimidate you. They're trying to, fight you. They're trying to start things with you. And you're like, bro, leave me alone. I'm just trying to focus on my life. Why are you so invested in my life? Leave me the hell alone. What's wrong with you? And you can't talk to these people because they're not trying to talk. They're just trying to be loose energy vampires. They're not trying to come up with any type of conceivable argument, any type of legitimate anything. They're just they're just there because they're not facing any repercussions, right? And that's the problem with people, is when people attack guys like us in this position, they face no repercussions. But if they face repercussions, they would stop doing it. But the question is, how can you get somebody? The main thing is this. Guys like us, we're going to find ourselves in the most uncomfortable situations imaginable. We're going to find ourselves in situations that most people wouldn't even believe are possible. We're going to find ourselves trying to overcoming obstacles that most people wouldn't even imagine. That's why I say when females come on here and say, well, women can be lonely too. It's like, no, they can't. It's not the same as a man, you know? Yeah, a woman can be quote unquote lonely, but she can have anybody at any time come and get between her legs. A man in her looks match in the exact same situation has to face the degradation of working a crappy job. Well, women work crappy jobs too, but it's different for a woman. A millionaire can pull up to Starbucks and see a pretty girl, a barista, and change her life forever because she's pretty and young. She's 22, 23. He's a millionaire. He's 40. He's looking for a young little thing to hit it from the back, and boom, her life changes. A regular guy, it's not going to happen unless you're a Jeremy Meeks or somebody like that. A regular 9-to-5 man is going to be working his job, and no millionaire woman's going to see him working at McDonald's and say, I can change your life. I can help out with your career. I can do this. I can do that. That's not going to happen for regular guys, bro. We're really trapped in this system. We're really trapped in this prison for real, right? So all I can say is, man, keep your head up and try to stay strong, man. And that's all we can do, man, because this world is absolutely brutal and absolutely ridiculous, man. It's crazy.